The Legacy sequel is a dirty phrase in 2024. It doesn't mean a tag team reunion of Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. It means your favorite films from the past are dug up and propped up on screen. Legacy sequels try to revive or continue long-dormant franchises, and they often feel like hollow attempts to cash in on nostalgia rather than offering anything worthwhile or original. Fans hate them because they frequently betray the spirit of the original, prioritizing modern trends or social messaging over the elements that made the classics beloved. These sequels often rely on superficial callbacks rather than developing interesting stories, leading to massive disappointments and franchise disillusionment. Underwhelming legacy sequels like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Terminator Dark Fate, and The Matrix Resurrections failed to resonate with audiences as they muddied the legacy of iconic characters, leaving fans feeling manipulated and disillusioned. The newest legacy sequel on the block is Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, and I was convinced that this film would follow in the disappointing footsteps of other legacy sequels. Does it? Let's find out right now.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
"36 years after the events of the first film, Lydia Dietz hosts a supernatural talk show, Ghost House, produced by her boyfriend, Rory. During a taping, Lydia sees visions of Beetlejuice in the audience. Shortly after, her stepmother Delia informs her of her father Charles' death. Meanwhile, Beetlejuice, now managing a customer call center, devises a plan to reconnect with Lydia, using Charles' death as a pretext. Now, I'm not going to dive any deeper into the plot because, spoiler alert, you should watch this movie. Beetlejuice was a blast. It was funny, incredibly acted, beautiful to look at, and a joy to listen to. It's everything you go to the movie theater for. Personally, I couldn't stop laughing. Like the original, this movie is hilarious. There are gags every few moments that make watching this film feel like a wild ride. It never lags, it never meanders, and it's never boring. The acting in this movie is great. No one is phoning it in. Michael Keaton kills it as Beetlejuice. He's every bit as good in this film as the original. He makes more modern references, like to the 1970s, but that's it. Like Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop 4 Axel Foley, Michael Keaton doesn't miss a beat. Beetlejuice is so funny and the performance almost matches the original. Yeah, he's that good. Maybe he looks a little different, but that's it. Again, since this isn't a spoiler review, I won't go into any details, but I laughed harder in this movie than I have in probably a decade. Winona Ryder is great as Lydia. Like Keaton, she brings it, and I really like her performance. She feels like the same character, just 36 years older. Catherine O'Hara is usually the funniest person in her scenes. I actually like Delia here. In the original, she was just vapid and desperate for fame, and is kind of a feeble character. That's the joke. But here, they gave her a natural arc. After her art took off, she's now world famous. And as an artist myself, some of the art jokes really slayed me. The humor is broad enough to be for everyone, but there are Easter eggs and they're not just about the original film. Jenna Ortega is here for the teenage girls, and she's fine. She's not annoying, and thankfully she's never the focus of the film. Her story is interesting too, and there's a great resolution to it. Justin Theroux plays Rory, and he's insufferable, but in the good way. I loved to hate this guy. He was essentially Otho, but straight. He gets his, and it's hilarious. He really fits in well with the original cast. Now, let's just get this uncomfortable thing out of the way too. Jeffrey Jones, the actor, was arrested and convicted for some pretty heinous shit. It is wrong on all fronts, so let's just get this out of the way again for the people in the back. But it was a strong storytelling move to include Charles Dietz as a character. He was one of the most important characters in the first film, and you can't tell a compelling story if he just disappears. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice understood that and found a hilarious death for him. Every time I see the decapitated body of Charles Dietz appear, I laughed. It was played for laughs and surprisingly well done, given the situation the actor put himself in. Other studios should take note of how to work around something like this in the future. The rest of the cast is great as well. Monica Bellucci doesn't say very much, but she looks great and doesn't take up too much screen time. Willem Dafoe plays a dead actor who was most known for police films, and essentially in the afterlife, he's a stereotypical cop. But again, it's hilarious. Astrid has a boyfriend, and he's just okay. He's probably the least memorable, but you're going up against Michael Keaton, so good luck, dude. There is not a bad acting job in this film. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is not a paycheck movie. It is a passion project, and everyone brings it. The design of this film is incredible, too. It felt just like the original Beetlejuice. The house, the model, the netherworld, it's all there, and it feels just like the original film, but it's not a retread. These locations haven't changed very much. They shouldn't. You feel like you stepped back into 1988 for all the right reasons. The music is again fantastic. Danny Elfman is back and it's Beetlejuice through and through. I'll probably get the soundtrack at some point as well. Now, I try to balance reviews and talk about the good and the bad, but I've already talked about the bad parts. There really weren't any. This film won't top the original, but it's almost as good. The only reason it doesn't get the same score that Beetlejuice would is Beetlejuice is an original film, and this is the sequel. It does so many great things, and very few, if any, bad things. There's not a lot to criticize, and that makes me happy. It's so rare to see a legacy sequel be this good. Indiana Jones, Star Wars, and other properties are dead after bad sequels. You can't kill Beetlejuice because he's already dead, but you can't kill this franchise or the original's legacy because Beetlejuice got it right. All of it. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is a modern comedy classic. It's hilarious, morbid, and heartfelt. If you're a fan of the original like me who quotes it regularly, you will love this movie. It is truly a worthy follow-up to Beetlejuice. Is it better than the original? No, it could never be. But this is a great movie. The film delivers on every front. The acting, the design, the music, everything. Beetlejuice is such a good time. It feels like the original, but in the right way. This film was crafted with care, which makes me wonder why other legacy sequels have to suck so much. Beetlejuice bucks that trend and shares the same rarefied air as another amazing legacy sequel, Beverly Hills Cop. Check out the review to hear me gush about that one, but I'm saying it now. Beetlejuice is better, and it is the best legacy sequel of all time. Go watch it in theaters. I did, and I'm going to go back on Sunday. This is also a guaranteed 4K purchase for me. Looks great on the big screen, and it's going to look great on mine. And if you want to hear more about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, join our Patreon or our membership program. Right now, there's an hour-long discussion about this film from Nick and I, so if you want to have a conversation about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, you know what to do. But you can also join us tonight, where we talk about the film in less detail. Folks, hopefully you enjoyed this spoiler-free review. We will have more movie reviews. You can go back and check out The Crow, Alien Romulus, Borderlands, Trap, a whole lot more. WCBS has been going to the movies again because, well, there's actually some stuff worth watching. So this is one of those movies that's not modern year, modern and political, and if anybody else is telling you that, they're just trying to get clicks. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is a solid good time, and I can't recommend it enough. I'm not even going to give it a number score. You can think about what I'm going to rate it right now. But folks, thank you for watching. I'll be back next time with more. But in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other. Stealing Solo asks the greatest what-if question of all time. What if a group of disgruntled Star Wars fans kidnap Harrison Ford and force him to remake Star Wars in their basement? That, and a whole lot more, is answered in Stealing Solo, a Captain's Parody. Stealing Solo has been called Laugh Out Loud Funny and the greatest Star Wars parody since Spaceballs, and it's available now for a limited time only. Go to stealingsolo.com, which is powered by Shopify, so you get the reward-winning safety and security, and get yourselves a copy today. Once we sell through this limited backstock, I'm going back to the drawing board to bring you the sequel, which parodies Luke Skywalker's fall from grace, and finally the closing chapter, which I can't wait to get to, Frankenfisher, the Bride of Solo. And yes, it's exactly what you think it is. So folks, the only way to get that is go to stealingsolo.com right now, get yourselves a copy, and enjoy the greatest Star Wars parody since Spaceballs.